What is going on, traders? Hope everybody had a good Monday today. Want to do a recap here on the markets. It's March 6th here, and we're chugging along into the third quarter. So S&P ending pretty much flat, only up about 0.07%. Final print 404.47. So, yesterday was, or in the last video on Sunday, I kind of was talking about being a little bit more uh, biased towards the short side coming into Monday. We've seen this huge rally, talking about, of course, the potential consolidation as well, and that's kind of what we are seeing right now in the market as we start off here right on the 4-hour chart. But before we actually get into this, let me go back into the daily really quickly. And then we'll go into the 4-hour chart. Now, we've been watching this wider consolidation range that we had been trapped in for a bit. Of course, we broke out of that falling wedge here. We came up, and I'll go over this rejection in a little bit, but we were talking about the potentiality here to just come back and retest this base. Now, ideally, for the short side, they would want to push back into this base here, and again, I'd be looking for that potential BRB for a long. I'm not sure if it's going to come, of course, tomorrow or exactly when it's going to come in. As you guys know, I mentioned I took a short position over the weekend. Didn't add into it. Definitely opened red with that big gap up in futures, but I think they closed about 15% red, so nothing too crazy on that. I could have added, but I did not. I just played the short today, intraday on some day trades, but we'll go over that. So yeah, we're still looking to see here whether or not bulls can push back into this consolidation range, or if they do hold this range like we were talking about on the Sunday video, that if they hold this range, I mean, maybe even we chop around in this area, for a little bit. That would kind of stink, but that's fine. Whatever it wants to do, it's going to do. But I'll still be watching this range and definitely today's lows for any type of confirmation to show me that we're going to come back down into it and possibly set up for that long up to BRB. So I will be watching that as well. I don't know, again, exactly what day it could potentially do that. It depends. Obviously, it gets lower as we go on in time, but we'll keep, we'll be updating on that one. So yeah, we'll have to see tomorrow. I know Powell is speaking in front of the Senate. I don't really think personally that that's going to be that much of a driver in the market. I know a lot of people are talking about it. I'll be ready, for either situation, taking it cautious, into tomorrow, regardless, just because I don't know for sure. But I kind of suspect that it's really not going to be too much of an event that actually moves the market. But I could be wrong, so we'll have to see. So really quickly, we'll just get into the 4-hour here, and I'll get into my trades today, but you can kind of see where we stalled out. And for me, I was talking about that potential of having the bear trap today, the bull trap today, excuse me. You can see where we hit here multiple times. There's another one if I scroll out. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I don't have it marked. Boom. Okay, so you can see these points of contact here that we have, and that's pretty much where we came into today. If we had broken over that, broken over this, this bottom base here, I certainly would have gone more to the long bias on the day. But as long as we didn't do that, I was kind of looking for more of a pullback, and we've been talking about some type of a retracement probably in the works. But we'll see again how this kind of consolidation kind of plays out here, and we can kind of start to make a new consolidation kind of area. But we'll have to see what tomorrow's price action does before we really can start to look into that kind of a new smaller chop range. And 404 to 407, not the best, but definitely tradable. but it could be annoying if we do just bounce around here. I would much rather, not only for my short, but I think it would be healthier to, if we don't, excuse me, if we don't actually retest the 400, which I think would be the healthiest for price action, really to see how strong that bid is there, coming in and doing the BRB, maybe down into that 402 area like we were talking about. But it would be a little bit lower if it was tomorrow. So looks like it would be about 401 or so, and then the next day it'd be about 450. So we'll watch for all those different scenarios. But yeah, before we get into much more, I did want to pull up the dollar because I was looking at that today before doing this video. And we're kind of in this channel here, and we're right at the bottom of it, in my opinion. We've got points of contact here, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I want to be watching this kind of general zone, the 104 area, 104.10, and down at the lowest down to 103, 80, 85 zone. So I'll be watching that as kind of a gauge here. But if this can hold, certainly here I'll be pretty much, if we break under, I'll probably be losing. I'll lose confidence in this kind of scenario, obviously, because we'll be breaking the trend line and then coming back down. But if we do break, I'll be watching for probably a target of that 103.85 area, but we'll have to see how that develops. However, I'd be looking here, if we were going to split this in half, as this being a bit of a channel going on, it wouldn't surprise me to see type of a regression back to at least halfway. So we're gonna have to see. First area probably would be this breakdown zone around 104.50, 45, and then see about getting up into the whole way. So that would be about 25%, and that would be about 50. Either one are possible, but this is definitely something that I'm watching. And of course, if the dollar does decide to move up, that will put pressure on the equity markets. So just something I've been watching here that I wanted to point out, since we haven't looked at the dollar in a little bit. All right, so let's go into today's price action. Not too much to go over today. All right, so we came up, nice move to the upside. In chat I was saying that I didn't really trust this move up, so extended, and as we kind of chopped around in this zone, we broke out here over that 406.25 area, saw a nice little push up higher. But you can see here we failed. It came down, pressed down the bid, up again, made a new high, pressed down the bid, up again here, lower high. As far as my trades today, I had taken a put position. I'll have to look at the time, but I think it was right into this flag, to be honest. I took it here. I actually added when we came in. I also took a future short right around here as well. Got stopped out for about 3 points. I got back in when we came back up higher, up into this zone. I think I had about on futures like 477, something like that. Anyway, so we had come down here, retested this previous breakout, came back up, lower high, and then as long as we really didn't break over the highs, and probably my last stand would have been 407.75, as long as we didn't break over that, then I was willing to kind of see the trade out. In the pre-market prep slash that we did, You know, I kind of explained why I was having that bearish bias on the day, and we did go over that a bit in the Sunday video. But here, yeah. So as we kept on coming up and it kept getting pressed down, I'm thinking accumulation. I didn't trust it. Was just waiting. If you're a pattern trader or whatever, I guess you could say this is kind of a head and shoulders, and then this was the neckline from where we broke out of. Sure, I'm not really a big fan of head and shoulders and that kind of stuff, but either way, broke out here. We broke the structure back down. You can see that once we broke over where we squeezed, a huge reaction back down. We came right back into the base here. Where we broke out from in the morning. So, you know, there were orders there waiting, and that's what we were drawn right into that area here. I guess opening range break, and this also was pretty much the pre-market high. But overall, we were putting in a lower high, you know. And when, you know, I know today on my Twitter I posted at some point while we were making these highs that to me they were just baiting here up here. I was watching the level 2 and the tape, and you know that's why I kind of made that post with the banana that some of you guys commented on and thought was pretty funny. But they were just sucking up that those bids to be able to push it down, or those asks to be able to push it down. And yeah, that's what we got. So anyway, this was pretty much my first target here on this move. Definitely took out a good part of my my contracts on my MES and everything like that. I wasn't sure. I wouldn't have been shocked to see a push back up to retest here. And if I had missed, you know, if I didn't have the confidence in taking the shorts up here, you know, if I had missed it, the safer play probably would have been when this had broken. If this had come back up, retested this here, and I would have taken the short as well, you know. But you can see here, I mean, I guess you could have taken it here. For me, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade if I had missed that short, because the risk to reward here being right at this pre-market high is pretty negligible. You don't know if this is going to actually break and give up. So for me, I would not have taken this trade, but it pretty much, you can see it pretty much double topped again. What was the high of this candle here? 104, 105, 85, and this one was 105.88. So yeah, pretty much. But for me, again, the risk to reward, not really. It's something I was too interested in. But at this point, once we broke the structure here, it was really just 45-degree angle, easy kind of trade to manage and push out. You know, I'm sure if you were using some type of moving average, it would have just went right with it. You know, this is 45-degree angles, easiest pretty much to trade. And we just came in here following the trend, lower high, lower high, lower high, and just kept breaking down. I knew there was a lot of probably unfinished business in the auction here down by the Friday highs. So that was pretty much my target. I was hoping, you know, if we broke that 405 pivot, I was thinking that we might, you know, the velocity today on the market was pretty meh. You know, it was like I was saying earlier, we closed green barely a tenth, you know, of a percent. So, you know, there wasn't that much to work with if we're going to go from the open 404.72 all the way to 4, so like a $3 range, you know, maybe, you know, 4 if we break down here. So not much motion in the markets overall. Probably if we had more momentum and volume, we probably could have come down and actually had retested that pre-market low. I was also looking for the 403.75, which was a value area low on the profile. So, but we didn't get it. You know, they defended this 404 Friday highs, and the fact that they defended it, I think, was a good sign for the bulls here, because you know, if we do break under this, that's going to draw out a lot more liquidity, and we'll definitely, in my opinion, see some more sell side come in. And yeah, so but I'm watching, you know, what goes on here overnight to see if we break over this and see what we do. But okay, so that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I got out after the last thing is I got out like most down here. I thought about taking some calls, but and some longs, but I just I wasn't really that interested in the trade. Um, I don't personally like to take 5 point scalps too much if I can help it and stuff like that. Not really my style. So anyway, but it was nice. I got about, besides the loss, I think I got about 21.75 points out of the short, and I did about 50 to 75% on 65% on the options, depending on how they played it. I think I got 65, but there's a couple of ways you could have played it or exited. So yeah, so it was still a great day. As far as tomorrow is concerned, let's just go into this here. So as far as tomorrow is concerned, I'm probably going to be looking for these lows to get taken out. If they do get taken out, I'll probably be looking here down closer to, so I'll just say, what are these lows here? So yeah, if they really take out and start to confirm under that 404, again, looking for those pre-market lows at 403.60. If they can take that out, the next line, well, it's not that far, probably 403.20, and see about that. But I do think that once we take out these lows, and with a greater certainty, and not as great a certainty these, but we'll have to see. Then we'll potentially get that stronger sell reaction, and let's see if I can get a couple more days on here so I can extend it really quickly. Oh, it's not gonna let me, huh? Okay. That's annoying. But we'll have to see. This is only letting me see pre-market here, so this is kind of annoying me. All right, we'll just try to look at this, and I apologize for if you don't have MES or trade the futures or anything like that. Anyway, so I'll be watching that 40.50. If we get under there, certainly get under those lows. Then we'll try to see about coming down into all these bases that we broke out from on Friday. Probably a bunch of orders sitting in that area, so price likely to be drawn to it, and then we'll see how price reacts. So yeah, maybe 40.20 and coming down into this 29. I'm not exactly sure where these levels are drawn out from on this setting. Let's just go and just check. Okay, yeah, so that was that range here. So yeah, maybe for that 40.30 area, then 40.20, and then maybe coming down to that actually to hit the 4,000 as well. And I think that's around 399 on SPY if I'm not mistaken, but I have to check. But yeah, so I have to see, what pre-market looks like tomorrow. I think that's going to be a better gauge for me to be able to kind of tell what I think market is going to potentially do. But I still want to watch, again, this base, because, again, if we break into that, back into this consolidation range, chances are we could come in and get that BRB or come into that 401 area. So probably breaking that pre-market low from today, and then coming down and breaking this 403 probably will set us up to come down into that 401 area and try to test out these highs here. If that gives up, we got all this base here right under, so it's not that far below, but 401, and then we'll see. But so for me, that's kind of what I'll be doing. I'll probably start to flip more bullish if we can get over these highs, but until then, I'll probably have a little bit more of a short-term bearish bias, just in the sense that I do think that a retracement would be healthy. That's going to actually give us the opportunity to propel back up higher, and it's just normal price action, pulling back and retesting these key levels. We're still pretty overbought here. Are we outside of value? No, we're still in value here on the 4-hour. Hourly, I want to see if it came back inside really quickly. No, so we're still pretty extended here on the hourly. Value area high is 401.05. We'll have to see if that adjusts tomorrow. But VOPC sitting right around 397.71. I'm not sure we'll get all the way down there, but it is possible. We'll have to redraw this trend line a little bit later. That comes into next week, but that would line up maybe with this trend line as well. So that could be interesting. But that's just the hourly. Let me just go back to the 4-hour really quickly and just take a look. VOPC is at 411 here. Alright, so that's quite a bit higher. Alright, so that's interesting. We are definitely below it here. 411's all the way up here. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All I've got. 20 minutes probably took all your attention span if you're still with me. Still all over at the 9 here. You know, that's very possible that we just come and retest that 401 area here, back to retest the 9. I'll have to see about that 402 area as well, because that's the 20. So those can act as magnets. We'll have to see if we come down into those areas as well. But I certainly would pay attention to that, just as a point of reference. All right, that's all I got. I hope everybody has a good rest of your evening. Have a good one.